All right, guys. This is Patrick. My YouTube channel is Rent Money Beats. My Instagram is at Rent Money MGMT. I'm just gonna walk you through the process of if you got Fruity Loops, FL Studios 20, and you want to sample some stuff off of YouTube. Go through old records, whatever. Go through playlists. However, your method is of finding new samples. I got my brother here from Oakland. He's got some fire samples, and I'm just going to walk you through the process from start to finish of how to turn any type of sample into a hip hop beat, type beat, whatever. So rappers can rap over it. You can sell it, whatever your goal is. You can make a mix. So here we go. So we got over here just a sample, right? Copy and paste this guy. Type in YouTube to MP3. I use this. Copy and paste that. Converts. It's going to drop down here in the left corner. Say it's going to start downloading. Click download. It's going to redirect you to some crazy website. Close that window right away. And if you can, do this in an incognito window, but whatever. Okay, so download here. You want to open that in your Finder so you have it for later. Okay, cool. Minimize that. Okay, so we got that. Then next thing you're going to want to do is find the key in the BPM. So just Google, copy and paste this. Like I said, this is going to be step by step. Copy and paste this. This is how I found it. Bam, go there, go key, BPM. BPM doesn't necessarily matter unless you want to keep it in the same BPM. Tune bad's great. So you're in the key of B minor. BPM's 91. Okay, so now you know B minor. You just Google piano B minor, and it'll give you the scale. If you just want to do 808s and bass instead of piano, you can do piano, bass, scale. If you know how to read music, that's just mean that's a flat on that note. I don't really understand music theory. I took it a little bit as a child, but for me, the best thing to do is get the images, right? I'm a visual learner. So this is what you need right here. So that's going to tell you when you try to add instruments or bass or whatever to your sample, this is the key that you're going to play, and this is the scale. Forgive me if you're an advanced piano player. This is just my way of doing things, right? Okay, so then you go over here, open FL Studios. Okay, with FL Studios, right, you're going to create a new channel. Right, you can go 9, you can go 4 measures. Doesn't really matter, just a habit. Okay, so you're going to go over here to your mixer. It can be on the master, it could be on any channel, really. You can type it in, but it comes with Edison, right? Start that, right? And then you're going to go back to that Finder I told you about. Go to your downloads, just drag and drop that guy in there. Okay, now you're going to look for the part that you want to sample. Okay, so you're going to play. Hardest part of sampling is just finding something that would sound good looped, right? Because hip hop, you need loops. So you might need to go back and find the 2 parts of the song that you want to sample. But here's the basic gist of it, okay? So find a part that you want to sample. You're going to hit loop. You want to hit this arrow or else it'll drag you all over the place. Basically in your head you want to go 1, 2, 3, 4. 4, as if the bass is, as if the kick drum is going to be on the 1. So it necessarily doesn't have to be right off the bat, or else the tempo is going to be messed up. So you just want to go 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever it is. You can match it with, said it was 91. Just for the purposes of this, we can match it to 91 before you drag the sample in. Doesn't really matter. You change that later. 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. You're basically just trying to find 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, so that's close enough. Then you're gonna take this guy right here, and you're just gonna drag that out. Go over to your thing up there, drag that out. We got lucky. That's pretty close. But right here is the important part. So you're gonna take the time, and you're just gonna match it. This is what's important. You're gonna match it with the time to your 4. So that way, see that? And you'll know if you're off. So you'll know if you're off, if that tempo isn't where you want it to be. That way, when you lay a drum track over, it might be a little bit off. You might have to go back to Edison and just mess with that a few times, and just maybe take a little bit off the end, maybe take a little bit off the beginning, maybe scrap it all together and find a different sample. But for the purposes of this, just stick with this for now. Okay, then you go up to your new channel, whatever. We'll do a basic drum pattern. Drag some hi-hats. You never want to go too crazy with those right away. Maybe hit control. Maybe let's go 8 steps. You're just going to want to match up those snare drums. So it might not be your normal thing. It might be something different, but it's all dependent on the beat, and you're going to switch this up, and this just might be an intro and you lead to a different part of the sample, but just for the sake of the video, we're just going to do this. Boom. Get more, you can get as crazy as you want to get with it, but for the sake of this, just do something basic. It's a little bit too close together. If you want to make it into sort of a trap beat, you could do something like this. Always level your stuff first in the pre-mix before you send it to your engineer or whatever. All right, now here's the cool part. You're going to go over here. You're going to assign this to a channel. You're going to go over here to this channel, to your mixer, right? So you assigned it to level 1. So you're going to go over here to level 1. And you're going to want to take out the parts of the sample that aren't necessarily, it's going to open it up, right? So if you're going to add in like a synth that is in the higher hertz, like the higher trebles, where percussion, generally vocals, bass, and sub. So you want to take out some of that percussion. See the difference? especially if you're going to add bass, you're going to take a little bit of bass out. Like I said, I'm not a professional. I learned this trial and error. So, you do you. You figure out what works best for you. So I like to build out the sample, the meat of the beat first, and then you can go back through, find bridges. You can create transitions. You can do all that later, but just for the sake of finding a sample and turning it into something you can work with. There's a number of VST plugins that come with Fruity Loops. I made the purchase of Omnisphere a while back. Luckily, it's really expensive, but this is cool because you get all these instruments, you get all this, and they're not paying me to say this. I don't even have enough followers for that. But so say you wanted to add, Retroland's a good one, right? It's all hooked up to the MIDI. It's all hooked up to my keyboard. So, oops. Make sure this is hooked up correctly. MIDI input. Let's refresh this list. Should probably plug my MIDI in so it comes up on that list. All right, you got your MIDI there. Okay. All right, that's a bass flute. That's a little bit just me playing on the keyboards, but basically whatever you decide that you want to add into your on top of the sample, right? That's where we go back over here and you see, okay, I can play B, I can play D, E, play F, sharp, play G, A, B. Right, so knowing that, you can come over here, you can record, make sure this is selected, make sure your Omnisphere is selected, and then go back over here. Okay, B. You're going to want to spend some time figuring out the right thing, but for the sake of this video, we're going to go here, we're going to hit record. Right, so now you got this. Just like we mixed the other one, assign that 3 or 2 or whatever is available. And then the parts that you took out in the other one, you need to accentuate the opposite. Some basic editing you can do here, maybe chorus effect. Maybe add some reverb. Sounds pretty good. You can make it more elaborate. My next step would be going back into the master, going into Edison, scrapping this, finding a different part of the song that you want to. And then you do the same process. You measure out 4 bars. 1, 2, 3, 4. You drag it in. Then you use the time, right? And here's the thing that I skipped over that I shouldn't have skipped over. Generally, if you stretch the sample too much, it'll change the pitch, right? So if you change the time and you make it longer, it's going to sound slowed down, right? You're stretching it out over more time, right? In order to keep the same key of what you're playing in, you're going to want to hit this and you're going to want to go to stretch. This will keep it in the same key, right? So this key, right? So that way your subs are in line, your bass is in line, your melody's in line. This is what it sounds like in key. This is what it sounds like not in key. Not a big difference there, right? Because you saw me change it and it was like a sliver. If you're really manipulating a sample, you're going to want to take advantage of that in different ways. But yeah, from there on, it's up to you. If you want to add bass, if you want to do this, if you want to do that, that's all up to you. But just for the sake of the video, basically, you can do this too. So if you don't stretch it, if you don't stretch the time to fit this, you're not going to be able to move this because it'll stretch the sample, right? It'll make the sample longer, it'll make the sample shorter. But now that we've stretched it properly, we can drop it down. So it's all the vibe. It's all however you want to present it. I'll do a couple more of these tutorials. Like I said, I'm not a professional. I did not go to school for this. This is something I learned of just trial and error, like YouTube, Googling stuff. So like I said before, I am not a professional. This is just my way of doing things. If it helps you, great. If it doesn't, that's fine too. I'm sure there's other resources out there, but I feel like if I would have seen this, would have saved me a lot of time, would have saved me a lot of effort. So just hit a like, subscribe, share it, do whatever you gotta do, or not. I don't really. It's up to you. But yeah, so that's my process for sampling. If you want certain videos, just comment below, shoot me a message on IG, and I'll walk you through kind of my process of my premixes, how to add more samples, how to add transitions, how to manipulate the drum pattern into more complex stuff, whatever you want to know. Whatever I can share you, that would be great. Yeah, just let me know and I'll make more videos like this, or if this didn't help, or if this is too novice or whatever, just let me know. You're not gonna hurt my feelings. So yeah, just leave a comment below, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Hope you guys have a good day. Hope this COVID stuff isn't affecting you too much. And now I'm a friend and I'm learning this with you. So I'm not an expert, and love you guys. Talk to you soon. Thanks. Bye.